Hey, how you doing? I'm so glad that you're here live with me. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you put hashtag replay in the comments and I will circle back around and say hello to you. Today, we're going to be talking about how to avoid embarrassment when publishing your first book. This is something that we've been talking about in my Facebook community, and just in my author community in general. There's a lot of fear around publishing a book and not being good enough, right? There's a lot of fear around rejection, getting bad reviews. There's a lot of fear around being publicly humiliated, right? There's a lot of fear just in general of putting out your ideas because you don't want to feel vulnerable, you don't want to feel weak, or you don't want to be embarrassed, right? You don't want your parents to be embarrassed, you don't want your kids to be embarrassed, you don't want yourself to be embarrassed. So I'm going to address this today because I don't want this to happen to you. I don't want you to put out your first book and be embarrassed. And so I'm going to be breaking down all the ways that I help people produce books that do not embarrass them. Okay. So before I do that, I want to give you a couple of definitions because I think that there are some words that you need to understand a little bit, not on the surface. I want you to dig a little bit deeper. So I'm going to take you into some deeper definitions of words that you've already heard of. You've already heard of marketing. You've already heard of sales. You've already heard of promotion, and you've heard of advertising. So I'm going to give you a deeper definition of each one of these so that you can wrap your mind around it as an author. Because the things that I share are specifically for authors. And so those of you that you are an author or you know someone who's working on becoming an author, share this information with them. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Your First Book 101. And I share all kinds of information just like this all the time. So let me give you the definition of marketing, because this is one of the questions that I get every single day from authors. What do I do about marketing? Okay, the book is done. How do I market it? Let me help you understand the definition of marketing first. Okay, so marketing is a system of business activities designed to plan, price, promote, and distribute want-satisfying products, services, and ideas to target markets in order to achieve organizational objectives. Okay? I'm going to read that again so you can let it soak in. This is the definition, and you can Google this. Marketing is a system of business activities designed to plan, price, promote, and distribute want-satisfying products, services, and ideas to target markets in order to achieve organizational objectives. What are the key words inside of that definition? Price, promote, distribute, want-satisfying products, and target markets. If you can understand who is in your target market, that is going to save you a lot of heartache as an author. Okay. That's why I highly recommend that you spend several days or even weeks just doing market research to find out who actually needs your book. You got to do that market research or you're going to end up wasting a lot of time, energy, and money. All right, now, so we did marketing. Let's talk about sales. So sales, this is interesting. The activities related to helping a customer buy a product. I'll read it again. Sales is the activities relating to helping a customer buy a product. And it involves things such as prospecting and leads. And the delivery of a service is also called a sale. Okay. So again, it's the activities related to helping a customer buy a product. Okay. And that's prospecting and generating leads to get a customer to buy a product. That's sales. Okay. All right. So let's talk about promotion. Promotion covers the methods of communication that a marketer uses to provide information about its product. The communication can be verbal or visual. Okay. So promotion covers the methods of communication that a marketer uses to provide information about its product. It can be verbal or it can be visual. Okay. And now that leads me to advertisement. Advertising is a form of marketing. It is all the techniques to capture attention, to spotlight, to highlight, to use a product branding image, okay, to plant seeds in the mind of the buyer. So when they think about this particular ad and this image, they think about this product and how it makes them feel. Okay. All right. So that is marketing, sales, promotion, and advertising. All right. What does this have to do with books? Okay. So if you have a book, you have a product. If you're selling your book, then you are selling a product, which means that you are now in business. So it is now your business to continue to grow your business. If you don't make sales, you have no business. Okay, you have to make sales in order to get a business, in order to have a profitable business. But in order for you to make sales, you have to learn how to become a marketer. I was on a call today with an author who's just at the beginning of her writing journey. And so she hired me to review her work, go through and do some very light editing and some coaching and I gave her some recommendations on where to go next. And it was great because she was like, wow, that was some really good feedback. And I was like, you're already doing an excellent job at marketing. Because she told me, what she did throughout the week, because we've only been working together for 2 weeks. And so I always ask at the beginning of the coaching session, so what's new? What's good news? Give me some good news. What's been going on in your world over the past couple of weeks? And she was like, yeah, I was talking to so-and-so about my book and they were saying, and I was like, what? You've only been working on this for 2 weeks and you're already marketing? I'm like, girl, you are my freaking ideal client. And she's like, what? Huh? I'm like, yes, you opened up your mouth and you told someone that you were writing a book. And you've only been doing it for 2 weeks. That's marketing. And she was like, oh. I said, do you know that is what 90% of authors don't want to do? And then they get through the entire manuscript. It gets edited. It gets published. It gets put out. And then they're wondering, how come I don't have any sales? Did you do any marketing? If you didn't do any marketing, you're not going to have any sales. It's very simple. But I don't know if anyone is teaching this. I know I'm teaching it to my clients. And I know my clients are teaching it to their clients. And they're making money. And we're making money. By the way, if you know someone that is finally ready to write a book and they want to open up new streams of income and open up a whole new career path, right? Send them my way. I'm offering a 10% commission on all referrals that I get from you. Okay? Because I believe in sharing, and sharing is caring. So if you introduce me to someone that needs my support and we go into business together and I support them with their project, and it's a lead that I would not have had without you. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk about how to avoid being embarrassed, because that's the reason why you're not opening up your mouth to share. That's why you're not telling people, because you really haven't made 100% decision that you're going to be an author. Like 10 toes down. You know how people say, I'm 10 toes down. Like that means you're solid, you're rooted and grounded, and you believe in yourself, right? So those are my kinds of clients, the ones that are rooted and grounded and they believe in themselves and they know they have a story and they're ready to tell it and they know they have an audience that's assigned to them. That's my ideal client. They're like, let's go, let's do it. Like they already know, they've already been speaking on stage, but they just don't have a product and they know they're leaving money on the table, right? They know they're leaving money on the table. They know they should be out there selling their books. They know they should be doing book signings. They know that. But you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink, right? You can pour the water on their head, but you can't make them drink. Right? So I want to talk to you about how to not embarrass yourself. I don't want you to embarrass yourself. I want you to avoid it altogether. So I have a process. And let me see if I have this. If I wrote this down. I have a process that I use during my program. And I'm going to actually get the definition for you because I want you to Google this later. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm looking up the definition for this process that I do because I have my own definition, but I want you guys to hear the Google definition, the school textbook definition. Okay, so we do beta testing in my community. So what does it mean? What's a beta reader for a book? A beta reader is a noun. It's a person who reads a work of fiction or nonfiction. Okay, I just inserted that myself. Before it is published in order to mark errors and suggest improvements, typically without receiving payment. I just sent out another story to my beta readers. Sometimes when you could pay your beta readers, you could bribe them, or you could actually just collect volunteers to do it. Here's a good question that just popped up. I want to answer this real quick. It says, when should you use beta readers? The ideal time to use beta readers is in the process, is after you've drafted and self-edited your manuscript before it goes to your editor. Even at this point, you want to make sure you're on the right track. Okay. So this process is happening before you send it to an editor. So you've already written a sloppy copy. You've already done a first draft. The sloppy copy is sloppy. The first draft is still sloppy. Okay. You're going to send the first draft to the beta readers. The beta readers are going to read it. Then you're going to do a draft 2. The draft 2 is going to go to your editor. Your editor is going to clean that up and send it back to you and talk to you about it. And then that'll be draft. And then you'll go over it again and you'll make a draft 3. Typically, my authors produce 5 different drafts of 5 different versions of their manuscript. Because why do I do that? Why do I have them do 5 different versions? Because I want to make sure that it is as clean as possible. It has as few errors as possible. I want all the T's crossed and all the I's dotted. I want the commas in the right place, the periods in the right place, the quotation marks in the right place. I'm a high school history teacher by trade. I read books for a living. Like the things, the manuscripts that come across my desk, when we are finished with them, they can be a high school history textbook. because that's how thorough I am and my team. That's how thorough we are when we go through the manuscript. We don't just go through it once. We go through it at least 5 times. And the beta readers go through it at least 2 times. So guess what that does? When your beta readers read it, they're helping you clean it up. When I read it, I'm helping you clean it up. When my editors read it, we're helping you clean it up, right? And so by the time you get through my process, your manuscript has gone through many hands, many eyeballs, and we're all on contract. So we're not stealing your work and throwing it into the universe and making money off of it. No, we're not doing any of that. We're under contract. We're ethical. We have integrity. And so you can trust that your manuscript is being handled with care, and it's not just sitting on someone's desk. We are engaging with it. We're interacting with it. We're having conversations about it. You're a part of the entire process. You're watching this thing work like, whoa, wow. And so after it goes through all of these different versions of being revised and reworked, you're pretty much 99.9% error free. There's always that little 0.1% chance that there's a little period that we missed or something. And that's not a problem. We fix that. No problem. Right? So all of the big errors, the big grammatical errors, the run-ons, the subject verb agreement, the proper nouns not being capitalized, all that kind of stuff, we deal with that during the beta testing phase. And so when I see books that are online that were published by self-published authors, I look through them and I'm like, they didn't do beta testing, because the beta readers would have caught this. What a shame. What a shame to put books out into the world that have not been beta tested, because there's so many glaring errors. For people who read. For people who read, we look at these books and we're like, no, boo, no, go back, try that again. You didn't do your homework. You didn't understand the assignment. Go back and redo. And thank God for Amazon, because they got this thing, they got this button that we love. It's better than the easy button. It's a button that says unpublish. It's like when you send that drunk text in the middle of the night, and then you're like, oh, did I do that? And so you can hit unsend, right? Well, I don't know if you can do that with a text, but I know you can do that in the DMs. You can be like, oops, I didn't mean to send that. Not to you. And then you can unsend it. Thank God Amazon thought about that, because they allow you to unpublish. There have been a couple of things that I put out that I unpublished in the early days, because when I first started publishing in 2017, I didn't know what I was doing. It was a hot freaking mess. I didn't have no editors. I didn't have no beta testers. I didn't have no proofreaders. I didn't have no book coach. I didn't have nothing. It was just me, myself, and I out here trying to do stuff, trying to make a difference, and was embarrassing myself because I got calls from people that were like, can I talk to you about that book? And I'm like, what? And I already knew. You already know if you're putting out something that's not A+. You know. So I'm going to show you a couple of my books that I put out that were not A+, right? And then I'm going to show you a couple of books that are A+. Okay, so back in the day, I used to just publish. I used to just throw stuff out. So a lot of my stuff is not published anymore. So one of my first versions of, and this workbook is actually under repair, right? So this is one of my books that I produced when I was doing online courses. And I was like, the online course needs a workbook. So I created this workbook to go with the online course, and I taught the course. And over the years, so that was back in 2020. And over the years, I've been going back through there like, what in the world? What the what? And so I've unpublished it. And it's actually going through a couple of revisions right now. And it's going to be republished. But it's going to be republished on my own site. So you won't be able to get it anywhere else except for on my own site. So that is not a plus publication. I'll be honest about that. I did that in 2020. I didn't know anything about, what I should have been doing with the beta testing and all that. So here's the lesson. Even though that book, I would give myself probably a C+, B- with that. The thing about it though is it is the curriculum of my online course. So that's where the value is. The people who I've coached, they've actually used that workbook to coach other people. And so my program has produced other book coaches who are now making money to coach other authors. So the value is there. So I still sell that book for about $100, unless I'm running a promotion, and then it's maybe half of that. But that book is still worth $100. The value is high. And when I was selling my online course to go with that, my online course was like $1,500. And the result is the result. And that's what people are paying for. So don't get it twisted now. That book is not an A+ high quality book in terms of the appearance of it. But the content is high value. And so people still buy it. Even though I unpublished it from Amazon, you can't get it in print. You can only get the digital copy, and I have it on my own site. So you have to contact me for the workbook. Now, over the years, I learned that you need to have your stuff beta tested. You need to hire editors. You need to make this a whole team effort. Doesn't need to just be you and you. And that's what happened with that. That was me and me, right? And I learned. So then I joined a couple of different groups, and we did some anthologies together, and it was freaking phenomenal. So we did, I'll show you the one. Let me show you the one that I was the leader of. So I was the leader of a book anthology with other classroom teachers. And so what we did was we wrote the manuscript. Each one of us wrote a different chapter, right? Let me see how many chapters are in here. We wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's only 13 chapters. It's only 57 pages. It's a real quick read. This is actually for teenagers. But anyways, so this book that I'm about to show you in a minute, we had this book beta tested. We hired editors to edit it for us. We got the cover professionally designed, and we put some money into it. Okay, it was an investment. We pulled together, we put our money out, and we invested in this project. So we're excited. We're proud. I mean, it was a sloppy copy first, and then it was a rough draft, and then it was a rough draft, right? And then you went through its 5 different versions, its 5 different iterations. We got the cover, the title, and all of that, and we produced it. Voila, here it is. New ways of learning in 2020. Corona struck, because we were struck. And this is for kids. So you can find this one on Amazon. And we're on the back, us teachers. That's me when I had hair up at the top. Okay. So we did a good job. We put some money into it. We hired people to help us with the formatting and stuff like that. So it turned out to be really good, high quality stuff. And so today, the teachers that were involved with this, they've actually taken this to their school districts and shared it with the administrators and the superintendents. So the long-term vision is to sell these books in the schools. Okay. So that's the long-term vision. So that's why we made that investment. Okay. So as you learn and you get better and you get more wisdom, you will start to make different decisions about what you put out in the world, right? Because you definitely don't want to embarrass yourself. You don't want to embarrass your family. You don't want to embarrass your neighborhood, your city, your town, your state, your country, because Amazon is global. So people everywhere are going to buy your book. Well, could potentially buy your book. So you want to make sure it's top notch. Okay, so here's another book project that I was a part of that I'm super excited about, because this was a book anthology that I paid to be a part of. So it worked really well because they basically, what they did was they had a company to do all of the production, all of the printing, all the shipping, all of the distribution. I mean, they took care of all that. And so as an author, all I had to do was write a chapter and then give them my money, and then everything else just rolled, right? So that was pretty cool. And so this book is written by 25 different public speakers. And let me see how many chapters. Oh, there's a lot of chapters in here. Let's see. Yeah, there's 25 chapters because there's 25 public speakers. So we got together, we pulled our money together, we wrote the chapters, put it out, hired a company to take care of all the particulars. So this was absolutely Amazon #1 bestseller in March of 2021. So this book is called Visibility. And I'll read. It says, Visibility, success stories from elite leaders making an impact from the stage. So this is about people speaking on the stage, right? My name's at the bottom. And then here is the lead. What is she? The lead. She's the owner of the company that created the book. And she's the lead author on the, she's the lead author. Yep. So visibility. Okay. So what I'm saying is, as you get smarter, older, wiser, as you produce more content, you realize that you need to hire professionals to help you so that you don't throw something out and start getting all these negative comments. I talk to authors all the time who, like, I just talked to one author 2 weeks ago. She put a book on Amazon. She saw me online talking about books, self-publishing. I shared with her, she got the workbook. I shared with her what I do. She got excited. She put a book out, didn't have it edited. And a lot of people do this. Like my first couple of books, I didn't really spend too much on editing. No, I didn't do any cover design, none of that. I just kind of threw it out. And so what happened was she got some bad reviews on Amazon and she got some negative comments on Facebook. And I was like, whoa, coaching her through the emotions of that, because it can be disheartening, very disheartening. I literally had someone reach out to me on social media and ask me if they could hop on a Zoom and give me feedback on one of my books. And I was like, sure. And I was expecting some criticism, some judgment, but I wasn't expecting like a barrage. No, I wasn't expecting an avalanche of negative criticism. I was just like, whoa, okay. And in the beginning, I was just like, oh, cool. That's just feedback. It's good for me to learn. It's good for me to grow. But then when I left the call, I was like, shoot, I feel bad about myself. Should I take the book down? Like, I went through a whole emotional roller coaster over the feedback that person gave me. We were on that Zoom meeting for 2 hours and I was mortified. I was embarrassed. I felt humiliated. I felt this small. I felt really bad about it. I don't know if I recorded that. I probably didn't record that session, but it was really, I mean, that person took me through the ringer. They like, because I had thrown the book out for free and I was just letting people read it. And they ripped it up. I was like, wow, wow. And I went through a whole emotional roller coaster, but I prayed about it. I'm a praying woman. I prayed, I meditated, I journaled, and I had an epiphany about a week later. Because I was going to tear it down. I was going to take it down. I wasn't going to show it to anybody again. And I listened to the Holy Spirit when I'm praying. Holy Spirit said, leave it up. Holy Spirit said, leave it up because it's there for someone. Not that person, but it's there for someone. And the other reason why I said, Holy Spirit said, leave it up is because Holy Spirit said, you're a teacher. Use this as a teachable moment. You have made a lot of mistakes, and let people see that. You're human, you're flawed, you have a lot of scars. Let people see that. And so you can go on Google and type in my name and you'll find some manuscripts out there that I produced for myself that were not good. And I'm going to leave them out there because I'm a teacher and I'm a leader and I make mistakes and I've produced a lot of content that was not good quality. But you guess what? For every piece, for every thousands of pieces of content that I've created that was horrible, there's always one that knocks it out the park. And I'm like, damn, I'm good. But the only reason I can say that is because I've been reading since I was 3. I've been writing since I was 12. I've been publishing since 2017. I've been coaching for 6 years. And I've helped over 50 people write their first book in 90 days or less with minimal stress. And so I've done a lot in the world. I've helped a lot of people, and those people are now helping people. And so I'm in my purpose. I'm on purpose. I'm in alignment. And so if there's content out there that I produce that just wasn't that good, so be it. It's a learning lesson to you as the indie author who's getting ready to produce something. Yeah, go ahead and produce it, but make sure you hire help. And if you can't afford to hire help, go ahead and just produce something and throw it out. But just understand that you're going to need to probably yank it and do another version, which is fine. Companies do it every day. It's called beta testing. The products are in their beta phase. You hear that. We do it all the time. So don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. But just know that there will be times when you do embarrass yourself. And so you honestly can't really avoid embarrassment. But you can minimize it, you can mitigate it, and you can reduce it to here, right? And the way that you minimize embarrassment is you make sure you put out an excellent A+ quality manuscript. That's it. And in order to put out an A+ manuscript, you need to hire a team. And so if you need support, I'm here. If you love this information, go to my YouTube channel. You will always get more information there. If you are ready to become a part of my community, you want to go into a group where you can just kind of sit and listen to these ideas, because we do a lot of live talks. We do a lot of question and answers. I do a lot of pop-up trainings where I'll drop a link for you to join me. And you'll be able to come in and get a special Q&A. I do Q&As all the time. Just ask me anything, books, whatever comes up, comes up. And so join me on Facebook. I have 2 groups. One is called Your First Book Club for people that are just thinking about their first book. And then there's another one called Your Next Book Club, and it's called How to Relaunch Your Book. So if you got a book already, you're going to relaunch it. Let's go. Okay. All right. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Hopefully you're having a beautiful, absolutely amazing time with some people that you love, and you're living your best life. I know I am. All right. See you later. Bye.